All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Samco Tradbo. Today what we're going to talk about is RC, Robert Carter, and his hunting videos that he puts out there. His videos that he puts on his YouTube channel. YouTube channel's rocking. I think he's got 240 videos on here already, so he's got a lot of them. And then on top of that, he's got all kinds of videos, but he's got 240 videos on here. It's up to almost 8,000 subscribers. He's putting out multiple videos a week, and his channel's on fire. Lately, for the last couple of years, he's been putting out a tremendous amount of these walkabouts that he's doing, these scouting, he's looking for hog sign, he's going out looking for deer stuff, scouting for deer, the way he goes in and hunts, and he's making a lot of these videos, but you're probably not picking up on the things that you should be. You're probably not watching the way you should be. If this is something that you're going to just basically watch on your phone and sit there and look at for a minute, you're doing it wrong. Okay, if you're going to be listening to it while you're driving down the road and let it just play in the background so you can just hear the audio, you're doing it wrong. When it comes to his videos, there's a lot of stuff that he's teaching you in there that you're not going to, that you're probably not paying attention to. I guess the best way to put it is, when I watch one of his videos, if it's a 10-minute video, it takes me a minimum 20 minutes to watch it because I'm learning from him. I'm always learning from him. So when you're watching his video, you want to do it on a TV, on a computer, something that's big, something that you got control of the remote where you can pause it and you can pay attention. He's a wealth of knowledge, more so than you could ever imagine. He's hunted and killed more animals than we could ever think about. He's, you know, we know all this. But when he's in the woods, there's things that you're probably missing out on. And I want to point out, because I just got done watching his last one too, and again, I caught myself doing it. I pay attention to this stuff. But you can learn so much that he's telling you a ton in there. But there's so much more to what he does and how he does it that he's not telling you too, that you can pick up from. Like the way he walks, okay, where he walks. You will notice if you pay attention to his stuff, you can see when he goes fast. You know, he's got his camera, but when he's moving fast, when he, you know, through areas that he's not getting good sign, not seeing good sign, but then how he's going to slow down when he does, and he starts getting into sign, or you'll notice that if he's moving real fast and talking and everything is good, that it's pretty open area and he's cruising through it, but then all of a sudden he gets into the thicker stuff and you start seeing river cane around him and things like this. He's moving much slower, he's talking quieter, he's showing things more. Okay, you can learn a lot about what he's doing and where he does. Is he up high when he's walking? Is he up on top of the bank along there, or is he down in the bottoms when he's going? And he does both. If he's showing you sign, he's down in the bottom. But a lot of the times he's walking up higher where he can see things and understand what's going on. Okay, there's things that you're going to pick up if you watch his videos with the right mindset of learning from him. Okay, not just the entertainment of the stuff he's showing you, which is great. But man, I'm telling you, there's so much information in there. This man has forgotten more stuff than we'll ever know. And having hunted with him a few times now, I'm telling you, that just to see him in action is unbelievable. I made a whole YouTube video about it. I'll link it at the end of this for you. You know, walking, you know, hunting with Robert Carter. But you can see it. I even bring it up in there when you watch him stalk animals, or when we get into actual, we go from chill mode to actual hunt mode. You can see the differences. You can see the way he uses the shadows, the way he uses and avoids the sunlight, the way he pays attention and picks his route 20 yards ahead so he's not going to get pinned into walking through a pile of junk that's there, a wash up area, which is these areas where as areas flood, they flood up all the sticks and the debris into certain areas. You don't want to get backed up into one of them because then it's crunch, crunch, crunch to get out. To watch him navigate that stuff and do that, it's mind-blowing. Okay, to see how he is with these things. How many of you guys know, do you know what the blackest tree in the woods is? There's one for you. He says it in many videos. Blackest tree in the woods. And he points out clear as day when he's talking about persimmons. And he says it. Blackest tree in the swamp. Okay. Did you pick up on that? Are you catching it? Okay. These are things that you should be paying attention to. I wrote down a couple other ones in here too. But where he sits for his breaks even. You know, you guys might see him sit down and preach and do a sermon and all that. And it's a beautiful thing. And it sure is. But I'm also paying attention to where he sits down. Okay, what's it look like around him? Is he sitting there talking and he's using that camera and pointing them at him and he's moving it? Is it in an open area? Is he somewhere where he's not, where he doesn't want to get busted or not in the middle of stuff? No, it's always in thick cover. Why? Because he's hunting. He's talking to that camera, doesn't have to talk loud to do it, and he's there, and he's always paying attention. But even when he's on his break and he sits down to eat lunch and have some water, he is in hunt mode 100% of the time. Everything this man does in the woods is about hunting animals, okay? These are things that you got to notice and pay attention to. Do you pause on the sign that he's showing? Okay, do you know how much stuff I have learned from him about what I need to look for in the woods just by watching his videos and pausing? When he takes out a camera and he points it at the ground and he talks about, look at all these tracks and look at how this is and look at this under here and look at how everything is here. Do you know how many times I pause that every single time? I pause it so that I can actually pause it, and I blow it up full screen on my monitors, and I'm looking and I'm studying and I'm paying attention to what's going on there. And then when he points out the droppings here and the droppings here and the droppings here, and I'm paying attention to all that stuff, looking for where the edge of the drip line of the tree is to see what it looks like under the tree versus what it looks like outside of the tree. There's so much that's being pointed out in here that, like I said, many of you guys are not picking up on, but he's giving you the information. Okay, you should be doing this with everything that you're watching where you're trying to learn stuff, but with Robert, he's showing you so much stuff in there that to him is second nature, and he thinks everybody should know, and he's, you know, and it's just easy for him. It comes natural, so but it's there. This information is pure power that's there when you watch his videos and when you watch them the right way. What about a deer track versus a hog track? Okay, how many of you guys know the difference, even if you don't live down here? But if you watch his stuff, you should know it because he shows it in so many videos right next to each other. Deer track, hog track, okay? And he's using it as, here's deer and hogs coming in here at the same time, okay? But it's teaching you the difference between a deer track and a hog track. When he points out, look, you got tracks going this way and that way. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, it's things like that he's doing in there and he's showing you that many people are not picking up on. Okay, you got to be able to pay attention and see what he's doing, what it is that he's trying to show you. When you're following behind this man and you're in the woods, the little things that he does just naturally are mind-blowing. Okay, the fact that he'll walk through the water right here rather than walk around it over here because he knows that there's probably a good chance there's a cottonmouth sitting on the edge of that. So he'd rather walk by it in the water where there's not a chance of it bothering him rather than walk up on the edge of that and get tagged by it. The way he will use the wind. Well, here's another one. What about the river? Okay, how you see him by a river in most of his videos, somewhere in there he's going to pop out by a river and talk about it and how beautiful it is and that kind of thing. But he tells you multiple times in a lot of videos that he won't hunt by a river. Why doesn't he want to hunt by a river? Do you know? Did you catch it? Did you pay attention to it? Okay, these are the things. The reason he doesn't want to is because of the wind. What about when he starts talking about, you know, well, this is a great spot right here. Notice this, but yeah, the rise is not good. And then he moves on to something else. But did you catch that? Did you hear the rise is not good and that's why we don't want to hunt here? Because of the thermal drop and because of the wind change in there and the way that things are going. Do you hear him talk about how he says that the wind, you know, it's sunset and sunrise, it'll come out of the east, it'll come out of the west. There's so many things in a Robert Carter video that you really need to be paying attention. So if you want to watch and get the most out of his videos, what I recommend you do is watch it and then watch it again. Or watch it and then hit that pause button regularly and pay attention. But his videos are not the kind of videos that you're going to just randomly watch or watch while you're doing something else. With his stuff, you need to pay full attention to it. Okay, these videos are some of the most educational videos on YouTube. Even people that are trying to teach you how to hunt on YouTube aren't giving you as much information as Robert is. Okay, it's there, but it's also, you have to learn to read between the lines on some of this kind of stuff and dive in. And there's so much information in there to unpack and to take away. He does an excellent job of giving the tips, giving the info, filling you in on these things, talking about it. You know, this is a funnel here and this is a funnel. Well, it's a funnel because of a point. Okay, well, do you understand what he's talking about there? Why is that funnel a point? What is the reason for that? Well, when you look at it, you see exactly what he means and what it is. Deer don't want to be skylined. They don't want to walk up on top of that, 5-foot high ridge and be there. They're going to work around it. He covers all this kind of stuff. He breaks things down for you in detail, but you're going to miss it if you're not paying attention. Okay, every word he says means something. Everything he shows you every time he turns that camera on, it is for a reason. And I promise you, it's to benefit you. So when you're watching them, make sure you're taking your time and getting the most out of this. Don't breeze through it. Don't just let it run in the background. Dive into this. Analyze it. Think of it as a lesson. And it is. Because every one of these videos he puts out, even the one he just put out about the 8+ miles, you know, he walked 8 miles in a 90-something degree day with 90% humidity and bad bugs and did all this stuff. He loves this. He loves to be out here doing this. This is what he lives for. And when he's out there, he's bringing that camera to show you every little thing about it, explaining to you. Did you catch on to the point that he says this tree's loaded, but this one's not because it's only got a couple dozen on there? Did you hear him where he says this one's got bundles of them up there? Okay, bundles of these. Okay, does that make sense to you? Do you get that? So rather than having it where it's got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, a bunch of individual persimmons, he's talking about it having bundles of persimmons. So you know now, when you're looking for a persimmon that's loaded, you should see clumps of them, 2, 3 in a bunch, 2, 3 in a bunch, and loaded down heavy on the branches. Do you pick up on the points where he talks about how, you know, when you're, you know, he's out there for persimmons, he's like, okay, doesn't matter the size of the tree, it's the size of the drip line. It's the amount of branches that are on there. Persimmons don't grow on the bark. They grow on the branches. The more branches a persimmon tree has, the more volume it can have of persimmons that can be available to hit the ground. Okay, do you pay attention to that stuff? Do you catch on to the points where he says, this one's ripe? Why is the persimmon ripe? How do you know? He tells you in his video. He tells you, when they hit the ground and they bust, they're ripe, they're ready for food. Okay, when they're green, they're weeks out. He explains all this stuff. You just got to be paying attention for it. So when you're watching his stuff, give it 100% of your attention. I promise you, you'll be a better hunter for it. The man knows his stuff, and he knows it more than you could ever imagine. And he'll teach it all to you. But you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of his videos. Just something I thought, and I noticed when I was watching his last one. And I realized that every time I'm watching his videos, I am on that pause button. For me, it's a space bar. And it's watch, space bar. Watch. Oh, what? Space bar. Back up, space bar. Play. Got it, space bar. That's how I watch his stuff, because I'm paying attention to it. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to research, understand what he's talking about. He is a wealth of knowledge, one of the best hunters out there, and I'm telling you, you'll benefit from doing the same. Thanks for watching.